Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Canadian Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10. What an amazing race and an amazing weekend. Let's jump into it. Max 9. Wasn't a perfect weekend for Max, but he still won the race. Qualified second, won the race, a great drive, and a solid 9 for Max. Wasn't a 10 out of 10 weekend, but again, picks up the win. Sergio Perez 0. Absolutely unacceptable, disgraceful, and wow, a new 2-year deal, and Red Bull are basically rewarding failure. Same old Perez from last season. I mean, Max is winning the race, Sergio's 16th, and he retired by going off and damaging the rear wing. Lewis Hamilton 7.5. Lewis this weekend was fast, but the results really don't show his pace. I mean, he was fast all practice, Q1, Q2. As soon as it got to Q3, he qualified 7th, and that really did hamper his weekend. Stuck behind Alonso for long periods. Then he got in the podium places, and then George overtook him late on. But yeah, he was very critical of himself, and I disagree with him saying like one of his worst ever drives. It's his best weekend of the season. So yeah, I disagree with his comments. George Russell 8. Oh my God, I did not think I'd be giving him 8, but Jesus, you've got to mark him down. Pole position, brilliant. Mercedes showing some pace. Hopefully it's not a one-off. But yeah, he's gone from pole to third. Too many mistakes. Critical mistakes. He's fine leading out front, but as soon as there's a bit of pressure, he crumbled. And unfortunately, yeah, that's why I mark him down. He had contact with Oscar. Put a brilliant move on Lewis at the end, but yeah, up and down weekend for George. Forza Ferrari, Charles Leclerc 0. Monegasque hero, Monaco hero, Montreal madness by Ferrari. Yeah, they were out in Q2. You know, he had engine issues. But yeah, just horseshit by Ferrari. Back to their old days. You know, it's a dry track and they're on Inters. I mean, what? What are you doing? Carlos Sainz 0. Out in Q2. Horseshit by the team. He spun. He hit Alex Albon. Ferrari evolved. Plan B, Plan C. Inters on a dry track. It's a mess. They really need to sort their shit out. Lando Norris 9. Another consistent performance by the Englishman. Qualified third. Great form, consistent. But Miami, the safety car helped him. Well, this time the safety car cost him. Because, he was actually quite far ahead when the safety car came out. Solid weekend. Oscar Piastri. Don't know why he's so small on the photo. 8. There we go. Qualified 4th, finished 5th. He was in the podium places, but yeah, I want to see a bit more selfishness by Oscar, really. Because he's in 3rd, the 2 Mercs are behind him, and he just gets swallowed by him and ends up finishing 5th. He's got to be more selfish, Oscar, in my opinion. Fernando Alonso 8. A solid weekend after a disastrous May. Miami, Imola and Monaco were a disaster for Alonso. He qualified 6th and finished 6th with no mistakes. A much needed, decent weekend. Lance Stroll 8. Now, Lance, we praise him when he does well. So yeah, P9 in qualifying. He did hit the wall on Wall of Champions, but finished 7th. A good home weekend for Lance Stroll. and a confidence boost. Frog Legs Gasly 8. Out-qualified Ocon, finished 9th, a double points finish for the team. Yeah, and Gasly was facing the wrong way on lap 1. He had contact with Perez, so very lucky to keep going. Ocon 7, like I say, he had a 5-place grid penalty coming into the weekend. He started last, he finished 10th. It's a great race by Ocon, but again, very angry in post-interview, saying he was asked to switch positions with Gasly. It was a pointless switch because they were never going to catch Daniel Ricciardo. Williams, Alex Albon, 7. He got into Q3, qualified 8th, but in the race, taken out by Carlos Sainz. He's hovering around the points. I think it's been his best weekend of the season, Alex Albon, and he did go well here last year. But yeah, taken out. Logan Sargent, 0. Oh my God. Have you seen a worse driver than Logan Sargent? Oh my God. He's actually doing well. He makes Q2. He qualifies 13th. For Logan standards, it's quite good. But then in the race, what's he doing? He goes off at turn 4. And then, spun it the first chicane, didn't he? And, terrible Logan Sargent. Needs sacking. You got your team principal in the meetings talking about, who's going to replace Sainz? Is it going to be Sainz? It's disrespectful to Logan, but he's not good enough. 1'1", 1'1". 1'1". He gets a new contract. Qualifies 8th. But no favouritism. You got a Max Tsunoda down. Big, huge mistake. His first of the season. But he's running in the points. Of course, he locks up, goes across that wet grass on dry tyres. You got that stupid rule where you got to go round the cone. But obviously, with dry tyres on wet grass, it's never going to happen. He's lost the car. And then very close, Nico Hülkenberg almost hit him as Tsunoda was in the middle of the track. Yeah. He should... he's been on fine form. He's got a new contract, so 1 off for Tsunoda. Daniel Ricciardo, what do I give him? I've got 8 written down. He did have a good quali, to be fair. We'll stick with 8. Qualified 5th. He got absolutely roasted on live TV by Jack Villeneuve. What's he still here for? He beat a wash Vettel. He's been nowhere. He's sat by his latest team. He got roasted. And then finished 8th in the race. Much needed points for Ricciardo. And he got a 5-second penalty for a start infringement. Guan Yu Zhou, 0. Wow. Crash in practice 1. Crash in practice 3. Qualified last. Finished last. Dreadful weekend. 5 DNFs. And Sauber still stinking the joint out with 0 points. A massive opportunity for Sauber to score points. Wet, dry, mixed conditions. And they're still the worst team on the grid. Pontash, 3. Qualified 17, finished 13th. Sauber are absolutely dreadful. Honestly, they're the only team yet to score. And at this point, what are they even doing it for? Because, wow, really bad. On to Haas F1, who took the gamble early in the race, and it was brilliant. Magnussen was up to 4th. Hülkenberg was up to 8th. They were absolutely flying, but then the track dried out. I would give both of them, Hülkenberg and Magnussen, 6. Hülkenberg finished 11th. Magnussen finished 12th. Magnussen had two very long pit stops, which did not help at all. I mean, he was absolutely flying at the start of the race. He was up to 4th. He was passing everyone. Then he came in for a pit stop and the team wasn't even ready for him. So, very strange. Would be interesting to see whose call that was. So there we have it. Driver ratings for the Canadian Grand Prix. Next up is Spain. Very late in the season. Is it Spain or Austria? I'm starting to doubt myself now. It was a cracking race at Canada. It delivered, qualifying, the race, its drama, the weather, unpredictable. Yeah, it is Spain, then Austria. So yeah, comment down below your thoughts. Driver ratings always divides opinion. Let the comments commence. Adios.